The air hangs heavy, thick with anticipation. Dark clouds gather on the horizon, casting long shadows across the emerald-green rice paddies. A gentle breeze rustles through the bamboo groves, carrying the scent of damp earth and approaching rain. In the heart of rural Bangladesh, the monsoon season is about to begin, marking a time of both immense hope and formidable challenges. From June to September, the skies open up, unleashing torrential downpours that transform the landscape. Rivers swell, their muddy waters carrying the lifeblood of the land. The parched earth drinks deep, rejuvenated by the monsoon's life-giving force. For the people of Bangladesh, this is a season of profound significance, deeply intertwined with their lives, livelihoods, and cultural heritage. The rhythmic drumming of raindrops on thatched roofs becomes a familiar soundtrack to daily life. Children splash in muddy puddles, their laughter echoing through the village. The air is alive with the croaking of frogs and the chirping of crickets, a symphony of nature celebrating the arrival of the rains. Yet beneath the surface of this vibrant tapestry lies an undercurrent of vulnerability. The monsoon, while essential for life, can also unleash its fury, testing the resilience of both the land and its people. The monsoon season in Bangladesh, spanning from June to September, is a time of both abundance and uncertainty. The arrival of the rains is eagerly awaited as it signals the start of the rice-growing season. Rice, the staple food of Bangladesh, relies heavily on the monsoon's bounty. The deluge transforms arid fields into lush green carpets, promising a bountiful harvest. During these months, the country receives about 80% of its annual rainfall. The downpours can be intense, sometimes lasting for days on end. While this can lead to flooding and other challenges, it is this very water that sustains millions of lives. The monsoon replenishes rivers and lakes, providing a vital source of irrigation for agriculture. It is a time for farmers to sow the seeds of hope, nurturing their crops with the life-giving waters. Alongside rice, other essential crops like jute, sugarcane, and vegetables flourish during this season. The monsoon, therefore, is not just a weather pattern, it is the very heartbeat of Bangladesh's agrarian economy. The monsoon is the lifeblood of agriculture in Bangladesh. The vast majority of the population depends directly or indirectly on farming. For generations, farmers have synchronized their lives with the rhythm of the monsoon, understanding its patterns and adapting their practices accordingly. The arrival of the rains marks the beginning of the rice planting season. Farmers wade through knee-deep water in the paddy fields, carefully transplanting rice seedlings. The monsoon provides the essential moisture needed for the crops to thrive. It is a time of intense labor, but also a time of hope and anticipation. A good monsoon harvest can mean the difference between prosperity and hardship for farming families. The rains bring not only water for the fields, but also an abundance of fish to the rivers and canals. This provides a vital source of protein for the population and boosts the incomes of fishermen. The monsoon, therefore, is not just about survival, it is about sustenance and prosperity for millions. While the monsoon brings life-giving rain, it also brings with it the threat of flooding. Bangladesh, located in the delta of three major rivers, the Ganges, Brahmaputra and Meghna, is highly vulnerable to floods. During the monsoon, these rivers swell, often overflowing their banks and inundating vast areas of land. Flooding disrupts daily life in countless ways. Roads become impassable, cutting off villages and towns. Schools are forced to close, disrupting education. Homes are damaged or destroyed, leaving families stranded and vulnerable. Access to clean water and sanitation becomes a major challenge, increasing the risk of waterborne diseases. Yet, despite these challenges, the people of Bangladesh have developed remarkable resilience in the face of recurring floods. Communities come together to help each other, sharing food, shelter and resources. People adapt their homes and lifestyles to cope with the floods, building houses on stilts and using boats as their primary mode of transportation. The monsoon may bring hardship, but it also brings out the best in human spirit, the capacity for resilience, compassion and collective action. When the waters rise, infrastructure in Bangladesh faces significant risks. Flooding during the monsoon season takes a heavy toll, damaging or destroying roads, bridges and embankments. This disruption hinders transportation and communication networks, making it, well, quite challenging to deliver aid and essential supplies to affected areas. Homes, schools and hospitals are also vulnerable to floodwaters. Mud houses, which are common in rural areas, are particularly susceptible to damage. This displacement can have long-term consequences, disrupting education, livelihoods and access to healthcare. The impact on infrastructure isn't just about physical damage. Floodwaters can contaminate drinking water sources, leading to outbreaks of waterborne diseases such as cholera and diarrhea. This situation puts a strain on the country's healthcare system, which is already grappling with limited resources. Addressing these infrastructure challenges is crucial for building resilience to floods and mitigating their devastating impact on people's lives. When severe floods hit, thousands of families are forced to flee their homes in search of safety and shelter. They seek refuge in makeshift camps, schools, or on higher ground, often with little more than the clothes on their backs. The displacement is particularly difficult for the elderly, children and pregnant women. The government, along with national and international aid organizations, mobilizes relief efforts to provide food, clean water, sanitation facilities, and medical aid to displaced communities. Temporary shelters are set up and mobile medical teams are deployed to provide essential healthcare services. However, the scale of the need often overwhelms available resources. Overcrowding in shelters increases the risk of disease outbreaks. The loss of livelihoods and homes can have long-lasting impacts on families and communities. Addressing the root causes of vulnerability, such as poverty and lack of access to basic services, is essential to building long-term resilience to floods. Beyond the monsoon, Bangladesh experiences a tapestry of distinct seasons, each with its own significance in the lives of its people. Following the monsoon's retreat, autumn arrives in October and November, bringing clear skies, pleasant temperatures, and a welcome respite from the rains. It is a time for harvesting rice and other crops, a season of abundance and celebration. Winter, from December to February, ushers in cooler temperatures and lower humidity. People gather around bonfires, enjoying seasonal delicacies and sharing stories. It is a time for weddings and festivals, a period of social gatherings and cultural festivities. Spring, from March to May, is a time of transition, with temperatures gradually rising and flowers blooming in vibrant hues. It is a season of renewal and hope, a time for preparing the land for the next monsoon cycle. Each season brings its own unique beauty and rhythm to the landscape and the lives of the Bangladeshi people. The monsoon in Bangladesh is a double-edged sword, a powerful force that sustains life but also poses significant challenges. While it brings much-needed water for agriculture, it also brings the threat of devastating floods. It is a season of abundance and hardship, of hope and uncertainty. The people of Bangladesh have lived with this delicate balance for centuries, adapting their lives and livelihoods to the rhythm of the monsoon. They have learned to harness its life-giving waters while developing coping mechanisms for its fury. As climate change threatens to intensify the monsoon's extremes, it is more important than ever to invest in disaster preparedness, build resilient infrastructure, and support sustainable agricultural practices. Embracing the monsoon's legacy means not only adapting to its challenges, but also harnessing its power to create a more resilient and sustainable future for Bangladesh.